Have you ever looked at the simple breakfast on your table, something as ordinary as an egg, and wondered if it's truly helping your body or quietly putting your kidneys at risk without you even knowing it? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. After the age of 60, your body no longer processes food the way it used to, and something as routine as your morning meal can become a hidden source of strain on an organ that almost never complains until it's already in trouble. I'm Dr. Ethan Caldwell, and over the years I've seen far too many patients who believed they were doing everything right, eating clean, sticking to familiar habits, only to discover that their kidney function had been declining silently, month after month, without a single clear warning sign. And that's what makes this so serious. Kidney damage doesn't announce itself loudly. It builds quietly in the background, showing up only when the fatigue lingers longer than it should, when the swelling feels just a little unusual, or when sleep is interrupted night after night for reasons that seem harmless at first. But here's the part most people never hear. It's not just what you eat, it's how you eat it, when you eat it, and what you combine it with that can either protect your kidneys or slowly wear them down. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly where the hidden risks are, the common mistakes millions of people make every single morning, and more importantly, how you can keep enjoying your meals without putting unnecessary pressure on your kidneys. Because once you understand this, you won't just change your breakfast, you might change the future of your health entirely. Now let's talk about the first combination that looks completely harmless, but can quietly disrupt your entire digestive system, and from there, place extra stress on your kidneys. Eggs and guava. I remember a patient, a retired teacher in his early 70s, who told me with pride that he ate clean every single morning, 2 boiled eggs, followed by fresh guava from his backyard. No processed food, no sugar, nothing unhealthy. And yet one afternoon, he was rushed to the hospital with severe abdominal pain. What doctors discovered was a hardened mass forming in his stomach, something known as a food bezoar. Here's what's happening on a scientific level. Guava, especially when slightly unripe, contains high levels of tannins, compounds that create that dry, astringent taste. When tannins meet high-quality protein from eggs, especially in an aging digestive system where enzyme activity is already reduced, they can bind together and form dense, sticky complexes. Studies in gastrointestinal health show that older adults are significantly more prone to delayed gastric emptying, meaning food stays longer in the stomach, giving these reactions more time to occur. And when digestion slows down or becomes inefficient, your body doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It creates a ripple effect. Undigested or partially digested compounds increase metabolic waste, forcing your kidneys to work harder to filter what your gut couldn't process properly. So what feels like a light, healthy breakfast can quietly become a daily burden your body struggles to clear. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another combination, far more common, that puts even greater pressure on your kidneys. If the first combination caught you off guard, this next one is even more dangerous because millions of people are doing it every single day, believing it's the perfect, healthy breakfast. Eggs and sweet potatoes. I had a patient, 62 years old, who followed this routine religiously. Every morning, boiled eggs, a piece of sweet potato, and a glass of water. Clean, simple, disciplined. For months, she felt fine, until one day she started noticing something strange. Heart palpitations, occasional dizziness, a sense that something just wasn't right. When we ran her blood work, the answer was clear. Elevated potassium levels, a condition known as hyperkalemia. Here's the science behind it. Sweet potatoes are naturally rich in potassium, an essential mineral, yes, but one that must be carefully regulated. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering out excess potassium. In younger individuals, this system works efficiently, but after 60, when kidney function may already be reduced by 30% or more, that same intake can begin to accumulate in the bloodstream. And here's where it becomes serious. High potassium doesn't just sit quietly, it directly affects the electrical activity of your heart. Studies have shown that even moderate elevations can increase the risk of arrhythmias, especially in older adults with declining renal function. So what seems like a balanced, healthy choice can slowly turn into a silent risk building beneath the surface. And the most concerning part, it doesn't happen overnight. It builds gradually, meal after meal, day after day, until your body can no longer compensate. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another combination, even more subtle, that interferes with your body in a completely different way. And now we come to the third combination, the one almost nobody questions, because it feels refined, even healthy, but in reality, it may be quietly reducing the value of your food while increasing the burden on your kidneys. Eggs, and tea or coffee right after. I once spoke with a man in his early 60s who was extremely disciplined about his diet. He chose high-quality eggs, avoided processed foods, and never skipped breakfast. But every morning, right after eating, he would sip on a strong cup of green tea. To him, it was a symbol of a healthy lifestyle. Yet over time, he began to feel persistently tired, slightly short of breath, and unusually weak. When his lab results came back, they showed signs of nutrient deficiency and rising kidney stress markers. So what went wrong? The answer lies in chemistry. Tea contains tannins, and coffee contains caffeine and polyphenols, compounds that can bind with nutrients like iron and protein, making them harder for your body to absorb. Research has shown that drinking tea immediately after meals can reduce iron absorption by up to 60% or more, especially in older adults whose digestive efficiency is already lower. That means even if you're eating well, your body may not be receiving what it needs. And what it cannot use effectively, it must process and eliminate, placing additional strain on your kidneys over time. So what feels like a calming, harmless habit may actually be disrupting your nutrition at a deeper level. But knowing this alone still isn't enough, because there's one final factor, often ignored, that could determine whether your kidneys stay stable or begin to decline faster than you ever expected. If you've made it this far, I want you to pause for a moment and give yourself some credit, because simply being here means you care about your health, and that's where real change begins. The truth is, your kidneys don't fail overnight. They respond to what you do consistently, day after day. And the good news? That means even small changes, like adjusting how you combine your foods or being more mindful of simple habits, can make a real difference over time. You don't need a perfect diet, you just need the right awareness. So starting from tomorrow, keep it simple. Avoid combining eggs with foods that overload your system. Give your body time to digest properly, and pay attention to the signals your body is quietly sending you. These are small decisions, but they build the foundation for long-term health. And if you found this helpful, take a second to save this video, because these are the kinds of things we often forget when we need them most. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'll continue sharing clear, practical medical insights to help you protect your kidneys and stay ahead of potential health issues. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about food, it's about your future. And with the right knowledge, that future can still be strong, independent, and full of life.